Morning, supers. Oh, I gotta pull the mic closer to my face. Okay, good morning, supers. How are you doing today? I hope you're having a wonderful start to your day wherever you're watching or listening from. Or maybe it's on the Super Joe Pardo show on your favorite podcast app of choice, or you're watching us live on YouTube or the replay here on YouTube. So I have a ton of news to bring today. But before I get there, I just want us to give a quick shout out to my wife. Happy anniversary. It's our 9th anniversary together. All right. Evergrande update. They're still halted. Apparently what I found yesterday was from the Motley Fool, which did not show that they were still halted, but they, as of earlier this morning, they were still halted. I will be checking live in a little bit. What Mark Cuban said about Bitcoin, which I totally 100% agree with, and I will get into that later on. Best Buy dangles hard-to-find holiday items as key perk as it launches new membership program. PepsiCo CFO says more price hikes could be on the way in the first quarter, basically prepping people for continued inflation. Shares of Hertz jump after appointment of ex-Ford CEO Mark Fields as interim CEO. Home Depot hires Walmart delivery drivers to drop off paint and more to customers' doors. Small business owners who depend on social media are exploring other options after the Facebook outage. And I talked about this yesterday, so if you haven't watched that, get subscribed, go watch that or listen to that EntrepreNEWS from yesterday talking about the Facebook outage and how you can help set yourself up so that you're not falling victim to it. And finally, business insolvencies set to rise globally 2022, first time since COVID pandemic research shows. So let's jump in to see what's going on with Evergrande. So at close, they are still, as of September 30th, they are still closed today, halted trading. And this update here from BBC News was from yesterday. Evergrande investors kept waiting over a major deal as investors wait for an announcement about the future of struggling Chinese real estate giant Evergrande. Two more property companies are causing concerns over their ability to repay debt. And we talked about this a little bit yesterday, Fantasia being one of them. Does this list the other one? Fitch Ratings has said it downgraded Cynic after the company said it had missed interest payments and due to uncertainty over a $246 million bond repayment due later this month. The boss of Shanghai-based Cynic hit the headlines last month when he lost more than $1 billion in a market sell-off linked to concerns about Evergrande. I assume it's Zhang Yunlin saw his personal wealth drop from $1.3 billion to $250.7 million on September 20th, according to Forbes, when his company was forced to suspend trading of its shares in Hong Kong following an almost 90% slump in their value. That is pretty devastating to have that much wealth evaporate that quickly. On Monday, Shenzhen-based Fantasia Holdings said it failed to repay a $205.7 million bond that sent the market value of the Chinese home builders dollar denominated bonds down by almost 50%. So so far, Beijing has not commented directly on Evergrande's financial problems, although the country's central bank and state media have signaled that the government is ready to help protect individual citizens exposed to the property market. So yeah, so not much has changed since yesterday, other than when I had made the I guess the misnomer that it was open for trading, and it very much is not. So I would, it's still there isn't a lot going on about it. I feel like if this was in America, there would be nonstop coverage about every person that works at the company. But here we, because of the barrier and the differences, we're like stuck on the outside looking in, hoping that things work out, not just for the company, but for the people that are heavily invested and have their life savings and or future vested in this company. So yeah, hopefully we get some news. I'll be continuing to track it as things grow and change and evolve. So we'll hopefully we'll have some news for tomorrow. Hopefully it'll be good news. Hopefully things will change. But I wanted to just give a quick shout out to one of our commenters who said who pointed out that Evergrande actually was still halted, unlike the article that I was reading from. So let's move on. Billionaire Mark Cuban, I don't know why I need to say billionaire. I guess Mark Cuban isn't enough of a draw. Says not many people like to pay in Bitcoin because it's an appreciable asset, unlike Dogecoin. Mark Cuban said people don't use Bitcoin as payment because they want it to soar in value. The Shark Tank star said they prefer Dogecoin because it's easy to spend and people don't want to hold it forever. Paying a salary in Bitcoin means the person would end up with less money, Cuban says. So my thoughts on this is, when I look at cryptocurrency, to me, Bitcoin is gold, Dogecoin is the dollar. Hopefully it gets to $1. I am very much on board with that happening at some point, even if it takes another 6 months, year, 2 years to get there. I'm not a wizard. I don't have a crystal ball, but I am excited about the idea that Dogecoin, the difference between Dogecoin and Bitcoin, for anyone who doesn't know, there's only a finite amount of Bitcoin that can be mined. And I believe it's like 150 years worth of mining. The next time Bitcoin, like right now, Bitcoin is paying out, was the number 6.25, every 10 minutes, 6.25 Bitcoins are created. And that is, to last I checked, was set to have to just half of that, so 3.12 or so Bitcoins per 10 minutes in 2024. Now, as compared to Dogecoin, where there's 10,000 Dogecoin minted every minute. It's 10,000 minute every minute. And while that sounds like crazy, like, oh, how could Dogecoin be worth anything? The fact of the matter is that our own dollar, we're printing money in the U.S. every single day, right? So we keep that inflation of the value of that dollar to 2% or less. And there's a whole get into the weeds kind of thing that we could go down, rabbit hole we could go down here, but basically, the great thing about Dogecoin is that it never stops. So it never stops creating. And while no one's using it, it deflates the value of the Dogecoin. Over time, as people grow, it actually can settle in to around 2% inflation if it had enough people buying and using and trading in Dogecoin. So that to me. And according to Mark Cuban, Dogecoin might be the answer to the Lightning channel that has not been created on the Bitcoin side and is constantly promised down the road. They keep kicking the can down the road. So that's why I think that so many people are on the Bitcoin, or I'm sorry, the Dogecoin train, because of the fact that it very much is not an appreciable asset. It will constantly be created forever. And there's a really good video. If you go check out Graham Stephan's channel, he has a really, really good video breaking down exactly why Dogecoin isn't like just a meme coin, and ultimately I think could be that dollar. Because it's easy to mine. It's not. There's not a finite amount of it like gold as is being Bitcoin, and that's plus the fact that when you go to make a Bitcoin transaction, it takes 10 minutes to complete, which is crazy, but that's the way it is. So I'm on board. Ding ding, Mark Cuban. I agree. Let's get Doge to be that the equivalent of the dollar, and continue to make Bitcoin the value, or to be the equivalent of gold or some other rare metal. Best Buy dangles hard to find holiday items as key perk as it launches new membership program. Best Buy is launching Total Tech. We'll get into that name. An annual membership program nationwide after testing it at select stores. The consumer electronics retailer said one of the key perks will be access to hard-to-find holiday items, though it did not specify what those items will be. Pandemic-fueled chip shortages and shipping delays mean that customers may not be able to buy all of the items on their holiday wish list. The consumer electronics retailers program Total Tech costs $199.99 per year, so $200 per year. Customers who join will get unlimited around-the-clock tech support, exclusive member prices on merchandise, up to 2 years of product protection on most purchases, free shipping and installation, and an extended 60-day window for returns and exchanges, among other features. They began testing this program back in select stores back in April. The retailer is tacking on holiday-specific benefit as the pandemic fuels global supply chain challenges. Outbreaks of COVID-19 have temporarily closed some factories and ports, causing a shortage of semiconductor chips that go into everything from cars to laptops. Obviously, we know this. Freight costs have jumped, and ports have ground congested, leading to higher prices for customers and fewer products on shelves. Retail and analysts have forecast an increase in holiday spending, but warned of fewer deals and shipping delays. They have encouraged customers to start shopping early and to buy desired items when they see them. Best Buy did not specify high-demand products available to Total Tech members, but it sells popular gift items that range from video game consoles to Apple. If you've ever been in a Best Buy, they anything basically tech-related is what they sell. It is said in a news release that participants will get access to Member Monday, a special event on exclusive deals that begins October 18th and runs through the holidays. The event will include deals for customers who are part of Best Buy's free membership program, My Best Buy 2. With the launch of Total Tech, Best Buy will phase out a similarly named membership program that had fewer perks. The one that let's see what are they calling that? What are they phasing out here? Okay, we could check out their website in a minute here. Retail analyst Peter Kith of Piper Sandler, in a research note last week, called the upcoming launch of Total Tech a potential game changer for the company and its stock. He said the membership program is one of the most intriguing initiatives that Best Buy has had in more than 5 years. Plus, he said it comes as the company's shares are trading at a cheap valuation. Shares are up 1.3% on Tuesday to nearly $107. The stock is up 7% this year. Sandler rates Best Buy as overweight and has a price target of $150, about 40% higher than where it's currently trading at. Keith estimated that in the research note that Best Buy will add 3 million new members on top of the approximately 3 million who are part of the membership program that's phasing out. He said he expects the retailer to grow that membership base to between 6 million and 10 million over time. And Keith said that he anticipates the holiday season to help drive interest as Best Buy advertises the program and customers see members only price discounts on the retailer's site. Let's check out their program here. So Total Tech. So this doesn't actually say what the one that they're phasing out is, but it's basically everything that we already listed earlier. 20% off labor for repairs and advanced services, free delivery on standard installation with hardware purchases, unlimited tech support. Although internet security software is not included with Total Tech, if you are currently have internet security software through Total Tech support, it will be valid as long as your Total Tech membership. 24 months of product protection and 24 months of Apple Care Plus on most Apple purchases while membership is active. Wow. Okay, so that is a pretty big deal because Apple Care Plus is a great service that I generally don't pay for because I generally sell the product, the Apple device that I have to get the new one, and offsetting some of that cost without waiting for it to depreciate in value. VIP access to dedicated phone and chat teams, free 2-day members, free 2-day shipping with no minimum purchase, and 60-day return window. That one is a big one because with their membership program, their Best Buy Rewards program, if you spend so much a year, I think it was like $1,500 or something like that a year, you would get into the Platinum program, which gives you a 45-day return window. I think it used to be 60 days, but I guess they have figured out that this is the opportunity for them to open that back up. But so this is all for the low price of $200 a year. I think if depending on how much stuff you're buying from Best Buy, it could make sense. I'm excited to see that they're trying something different. I think, we all know that retail is quote unquote doomed or, is decimated as it is, thanks to a big part by Amazon. And it's really on them to create experiences to get people into the store and create membership programs that people will actually use. I guess in their test, this worked. Relating, special promos and things back to my old Pardo Truck Parts, Pardo Truck Service Parts Warehouse Incorporated days. The biggest promotion that we ever did was Wawa card. So if you bought a certain amount of, like, say, airbags for your truck, or if you bought so many shocks for your truck, you buy 8 shocks, get like a $25 gift card to Wawa, which is like the equivalent of like a 7-Eleven. But Wawa here in the Northeast and in Florida is huge, right? So people would go crazy. They would stock up on all kinds of items off of that special sheet and buy it. So while we did try a membership program, it didn't quite have the same impact as just I'm buying this now and I'm getting this, I'm getting these products and I'm getting these Wawa gift cards. We would go and buy hundreds and hundreds of dollars worth of gift cards at a time, which actually, until they enabled you to be able to buy it on their website, was actually kind of annoying because you had to go to a Wawa and then hold up the line. You would try to go to the Wawa when no one was, like in between lunch and dinner or in between breakfast and lunch, just to make sure that we weren't like holding up the line and or waiting in a long line to be able to get all of these gift cards that we needed. Mohammed, yes, you right now you are the only one watching today. But as I will tell you, people have been downloading the podcast version of this show and have been watching the replay in a pretty increasing number day over day. So I'm excited that I get to come out here, do this. Plus, all these stories are being chopped up and brought. Are made available over the course of the rest of the day as individual videos, and those some of those have hit several hundred views in that day. So I love being able to bring this stuff, bring stories to the forefront, highlight different companies, different strategies, and really what makes the EntrepreNEWS. So if you have any questions, Mohammed, please feel free to drop it in the chat, and I will get to it before the end of the video. I saw that you gave a thumbs up, by the way, in the comments, but it disappeared. I couldn't see it and heart it. So I'm glad that you saw the answer that you to the question you asked yesterday. So PepsiCo CFO says more price hikes could be on the way in the first quarter. PepsiCo CFO Hugh Johnston is expecting another round of price hikes on the company's snacks and beverages early next year. Pepsi has been raising its drink prices this summer into the fall, while its snack prices are rising now. Other consumer packaged goods, good companies include like Procter & Gamble and Pepsi's rival Coke. They have also been raising prices to offset the blow from higher costs, which are eating into the profits. So, inflation is here. It's not going anywhere, and I think it's really brave of PepsiCo CFO to come out and say it and be honest and be like, look, we need to make a certain level of profit in order to keep this ship running. And if we don't, then we're going to start to be in trouble, right? And I think that by coming out ahead of it and being honest and upfront about it is always the better way to go with your business. If you're experiencing the inflation costs, being upfront, making it a marketing point, and this case, to me, this is a piece of the marketing, right? Is coming out saying something like that and being like, look, we know. And everybody else knows. Everybody knows inflation, while not hopefully not here to stay forever, is likely to here to stay for a while. It's not just going to evaporate overnight here. So we might be here 6 months, a year, maybe even 2 to 3 years, depending on how things go. And if things like Evergrande end up collapsing and affecting, having even more of a ripple effect through the world economy, it could actually be like 5 to 6 years, 7 years before we actually see like things getting back to the way they were. But at that point, you have normal inflation at 2% per year, which is basically going to catch up at some point. And you're, as I like to say, the bags of chips that used to be 2 for $6, now 2 for $7, might just end up staying 2 for $7. Hopefully, that to me may be one of the best case scenarios is that, we keep it there and not have like a runaway inflation problem. So I think this is a great move. I think if you're in that position where, your costs are continuing to rise, I know at one point we were looking at buying a slide for our pool, and when I went to the pool place, I was like, oh, hey, like what are we doing? And they're like, we can't even talk price. This is the beginning of this summer, and they're like, we can't even talk price. Come back in like 2 months, and maybe we'll have an answer for you, because things are just so runaway crazy expensive right now that we can't even get most of the materials at the time. So basically they were turning away money. Not that I was willing to overpay for a slide at the time, for what it's going to produce. But it's one of those things that at least you're being upfront, and honesty wins the day. Trust wins the day, and it wins wins the war. It might not win the battle, but it'll win the war when it comes to keeping your customers coming back and trusting what you have to say. Uh, Mohammed says, I love your content, especially the Shark Tank commentary. Thank you so much, Mohammed. I really, really appreciate that. We have a new video going live today at 11. I think it was You Smell Soap, which you'll have to see if that worked out. But it was it's so fun to get to go back and do these videos, and especially the old ones, but even the new ones, right? This Friday, we have brand new season 13 of Shark Tank coming out. And with that, I will have all 4 pitches up, generally before 11 p.m. or 10, between 10 and 11 p.m. Eastern time. So yeah, I'm looking forward to doing them and being able to share the stories and the business, strategies and marketing strategies and all that. It's what I love it. I live it. I breathe it, in my own businesses, in the business I grew up in, and the businesses that I continue to work with, in my program. So if you want to find out how you can work with me, go to superjoepardo.com/mastermind, and we can get you into the mastermind program where we meet every single week together as a group, hold each other accountable, and do all these things, and then get to meet one-on-one with me to work specifically on your business, just you and me, and getting those results that you're looking for. And Muhammad says, can't wait to see those. Thank you so much. Ding, ding. I'm looking forward to as well. And I will have a preview video coming up, hopefully in the next day or so, of the first 4 businesses that will be featured on season 13. So stay tuned for that. I'm not sure when. I have one business so far that I know of that's going to be on episode 1, but hopefully in the next day or two, I will have that preview video up so we can check out the websites and everything before Shark Tank, and then we'll be able to check it out after Shark Tank, because there's definitely been some differences over pre Shark Tank, post Shark Tank, and what they have to offer when it comes to like what they sell and what kind of packages they have. Shares of Hertz jump after appointment of ex-Ford CEO Mark Fields as interim CEO. Shares of Hertz jumped as much as 13.3% after the car rental company named former Ford CEO Mark Fields as the interim chief executive officer. Fields, who led Ford from 2014 to 2017, joined the Hertz board of directors in June. Hertz is at a critical stage following its emergence from bankruptcy in June after operations were devastated last year by the coronavirus. I did actually invest in Hertz when the whole, back in 2020, when the whole Hertz thing happened. It wasn't like a ton of money, I don't know. It was probably like $500 or something like that. Bought a bunch of shares. It jumped. I jumped out, and buy low, sell high kind of thing. But there was some other news that came out not that long ago about Hertz that was not good to see, that they were not I think it was somebody, I think it was actually a friend of mine. A friend of mine was had booked with them and had a really not great experience with them, and it's like, man, like it seems like they're trying to do the right thing. I've seen advertising for them, but I don't know. So let's see, where's Hertz at right now? So they're at $23.90. And if you, let me share this up here. So if we go back, that was just a month. So let's go back a year. Is this a year? This doesn't seem like it. It seemed like it held. I don't know. It seems like this chart's not working. Seems like the chart's not working right, because it's supposed to be a year. We're in October. That's July, and it's not showing. I guess at one point I think Hertz was were they delisted? I believe they were delisted at one point. And then I guess they've come back onto the market. So maybe that's why it doesn't show it doesn't show all the data? That seems really weird. Um, but when you're facing, down the barrel of a crisis, having somebody who has that experience. I mean, Mark Fields. I'm not sure how Mark Fields did led forward. I'm not sure how his tenure went. I'm familiar with the name, but not familiar with his tenure. For 3 years, I when I think about the 2014 to 2017, I think about those the Ford Focus problem and the transmission shifting, transmission issues that they ended up costing them a ton of money to rectify, and then still never really fixed the problem. And ultimately, shortly after, it was like, hey, yeah, we're not doing cars anymore. The only car we're doing is the Mustang. Hooray! I have to say, at least they have somebody who has led another company, and for 3 years, hey, that definitely counts for something. So hopefully he can help correct the ship, but it's not like it's going to be an easy way, an easy out, considering the fact that travel is still, as far as I know, way down overall, and it's hard for them to get cars, and they if they don't have the means to do it, it's going to be hard to scale back up. So best of luck to Hertz for sure, and to Mark as the interim CEO. Home Depot hires Walmart delivery drivers to drop off paint and more to customers' doors. Home Depot has hired Walmart to deliver paint, tools, and other online purchases to customers' doors. The home improvement retailer is the first customer for Walmart's new delivery business, Go Local. The same day and next day delivery service will be limited to home improvements purchases that can be easily fit into a car, such as fasteners, boxes of nails, or paintbrushes. I think this is a great use of resources, right? Like, retail as a whole has been hurting. So to kind of lean on one another's services, and I've seen this in local business, right? In small businesses, entrepreneurs, where it's like you do something to utilize each other's networks, utilize each other's resources, instead of trying to fight. Like Home Depot is big enough; they could have started their own delivery service. But why do it if Walmart already has it available? They've already built the technology out. Home Depot doesn't have to go and do the research and hire people to manage it and all that. It makes a lot of sense to do it. The thing to me though is I don't know. I mean, I guess there's a market for it. If I'm working on a home project, I mean, I've done it where I've had to go back to Home Depot like 3-4 times because I didn't know what I didn't know and didn't know what I needed at the time. So I wasn't able to go, I wasn't able to get the job done without calling up, or getting my car and going down the street to Home Depot. So it would be kind of cool, especially if it was same day. But generally speaking, if it's something that's going to stop my whole project, then I'm not. I'm not going to stop my project. I'm just going to get my car and still go. So I think that there's an opportunity there, but I think maybe Home Depot wants to test the waters too before they just dive right in and make everything you could possibly need of it, like jump in and go. So let's see. For Walmart, the delivery business provides a new stream of revenue and a potential way to gather additional insights about consumer purchasing patterns. The big box retailer has looked beyond retail to drive growth as it opens health clinics, creates a fintech startup and ramps up its advertising business. So, Walmart is feeling that pain too about people not coming into their stores. For Home Depot, the delivery agreement is another way to shorten the time between when a customer places an order online and receives an item. It brings the company a step closer to its goal of offering same day or next day delivery to 90% of the population. The retailer is investing $1.2 billion in its supply chain, including opening a network of flatbed distribution centers that can quickly deliver big and bulky orders to a construction site of a home. Professional or replenish inventory at stores. Home Depot which has 2,300 stores, has other ways shoppers can retrieve orders online too, such as curbside pickup, in-store lockers, and scheduled deliveries to homes and job sites. Its e-commerce grew by 86% in the fiscal 2020, which ended January 31st, compared to the year prior. So they do have other ways. In fact, I've ordered stuff online to make sure that I was able to get it, and then showed up and they were like, "Oh yeah, we haven't picked it yet, but you can go and pick it yourself and then bring it over here, and we'll check it off the list for you, and you can go on your way." So I think that it's good that they have lots of flexibility as to what you could do to get what you need. And again, they don't have to put out the cost to make all this happen. So I think it's a good opportunity for both, for Walmart to grow revenue and Home Depot to offer yet another way without having to invest a ton of money and research into and development into making that happen. Oh man, need to take a sip of water from my LTT store water bottle. Let's see. Now, social media or small business owners who depend on social media are exploring other options. I just wanted to pick out the story here at the top. Jewelry designer Alex Rankin sells 25 handmade rings on a busy day via her Instagram store, earning her just over $150. On Monday, with the social media giant down for hours, she sold 0. It was awful, she said. From sponsored posts to Instagram storefront, various tools built into Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp have become embedded in business plans, budgets, and for the smallest enterprises. Small business owners were at the mercy of Facebook on Monday after an outage lasting more than 6 hours left them with no way to generate revenue or speak with customers. And after losing sales, business owners told BuzzFeed News it made them question how much they should rely on Facebook products. Without social media, I wouldn't have a business, 19-year-old Rankin said. It's how I advertise my rings and how I take my orders for the rings and how I get my page out there. Since launching on Instagram 2 months ago, her business, Crafted by Alex, is entirely reliant on the platform, but the outage prompted Rankin to begin more long-term strategy. I plan to have my own website soon so people can order off that. I cannot control Instagram. The impact of the outage on businesses who use Facebook products has yet to be quantified, but early estimates of the cost put the losses at $100 million. In response to the impact of the outage on business owners, Facebook, which owns Instagram, issued an apology, but made no clear commitments to how it planned to rectify losses and mitigate any future mishaps. To everyone who was affected by the outages on our platforms today, we're sorry, a Facebook company spokesperson told BuzzFeed News in a statement. We know billions of people and businesses around the world depend on our products and services to stay connected. We appreciate your patience as we come back online. There's other stories. I will link this article down below, but you as the business owner need to, the number one thing is get the email address. Number one thing, get the email address. No matter what you're doing, creating, Instagram posts, creating Facebook posts, Twitter, this YouTube video, right? What's the first thing below this video? The first thing below this video is how you can go over to superjoepardo.com/rocket and get my free sales rocket guide or rocket your sales guide. And go in, and how do you get that? You put your email address in and I send it right to you, right? So now I've captured the email address. So, and that way I can have that relationship with you after the fact, right? If YouTube shuts what if YouTube shuts my account down, or YouTube goes down, right? Or Facebook goes down, or Instagram goes down, that email address is everything. It's everything. Email marketing is not dead at all. I was reading actually yesterday that, YouTube conversion rate, and I don't know how true this is, but given what I know from my own experience, my own data, is like 2.5%, right? Instagram is probably in that, maybe even less, because people like to go off the platform even less, and Instagram doesn't want you to go off the platform. So it might be less than 2.5%. But even if you're capturing just 2.5% of the the emails of the super fans that want to potentially work with you or buy from you or continue to support you, even if this doesn't work, YouTube shuts you down or whatever. You have an opportunity to keep the conversation and the relationship going and growing. And it's so important. So what do I think? This question came up before with my good friend Samantha Riley. We went back and forth back when we had a show called the Business Geeks podcast that we did through almost all of 2020. And the question was, do you need a website today to get started with your business? Or should you just forego the website? And look, I applaud Alex Rankin here for creating a product that people liked and love enough to buy in. And she's doing, she's earning over $150 a day, selling them on Instagram. Ding, ding. That's awesome. But she's also only been doing it for 2 months. And the best part about what she's doing is that she has proof of concept that people actually want the thing that she's creating, right? So having a website is great. Is it necessary? If you have the skill and a little bit of time to put behind it, I would say get the domain name at the very least. At least if you have the domain name, you can always create a website later. But if you don't have the skills for that and you don't have the money to pay for somebody else to create it right here, right now, there are services. I mean, I recommend DreamHost. There's a superjoepardo.com/DreamHost link, affiliate link with a discount code down below. But if you don't have those skills, and they have something similar to a Squarespace as well at DreamHost. I think it's called Remixer. But there's other ways to get your stuff out there. Diversification is key, right? But at the end of the day, hopefully all the orders that she's collected, she collected emails for all those and can email those people and stay connected even if Instagram goes down. But that said, Instagram going down for 6 hours is not necessarily the end of the world. But as Muhammad in the chat brings up here, sorry doesn't bring back money lost. Here's the thing. The person who lost the most money in this was Facebook. And nobody is going to give Facebook their money back in that time, right? From the stock, taking a huge slide to all their services and all the stuff that they weren't able to get done in that day, so lost productivity. And did it damage the brand? I don't know. Probably not as much as the other news that's come out that since then, right, with the whistleblower and all that. And the way that Facebook and Instagram have been handling, is Facebook damaging to people's health? Kind of probably is, but it's a give and take in that case, right? But I want you to be thinking, what can I do to diversify? What can I do to make sure that I'm capturing emails? If you have emails, you can always go to another email provider. Just make sure you're downloading and backing up your email list regularly so you have it local. So like, hey, I use Aweber, superjoepardo.com/Aweber for my email. If Aweber goes down or disappears tomorrow, I have my most recent backup email set. I can upload it to MailChimp or to Constant Contact or one of the other ones. That to me is more necessarily more important than having a website. But get your domain. The domain's kind of important too. You always worry about doing the website thing later. Worst case scenario, you just forward the domain to your Instagram for now, and if something were to happen, then you forward it somewhere else. To your well, I don't want to say to your Facebook, but to your Twitter account or something to that effect. And get people interested in going to those other places to interact with you. Business insolvencies set to rise globally in 2022, first time since COVID pandemic, research shows. Business insolvencies are set to rise as governments withdraw support measures that have helped companies stay afloat during COVID-19 pandemic. Research by Euler Herms. Globally, business insolvencies are expected to jump 15% on the year in 2022. The trade credit insurer said in a Wednesday report, even with the expected increase in 2022, overall insolvencies will likely remain 4% lower than in 2019 before COVID spread globally. So that, let's see, is this businesses globally 15%? Is there anything else in here? Looking at insolvency levels, governments succeeded in helping companies face the crisis. Massive state intervention prevented 1 out of 2 insolvencies in Western Europe and 1 out of 3 in the U.S. Their extension will keep insolvencies at a low level in 2021, but what happens next depends on how governments act in the coming months. Look, we all are facing crazy times, and stand to continue to get crazier as the rubber banding effect of effects. When something happens, we don't necessarily feel the effects right away. It's it's a month away, it's 2 months away, 3 months away, 6 months, a year later, where things start to really snap back and you start to feel the pain. And businesses are, not immune to this, especially ones that are smaller, that don't have, millions in the bank, hundreds of millions in the bank, billions in the bank, to be able to sit back and say, okay, look, we save for this rainy day. And that's why I always recommend, if you're in a business and you're not budgeting, start a budget. Start budgeting for every piece of your business should be budgeted and accounted for, not just from an accounting standpoint or something to that effect, but you want to make sure that you have something in the bank to be able to fall back on, right? And that's not easy for every business, but if you start today, tomorrow will be easier, right? That's the old mantra. Like, everything will be easier if I start today, and every day gets a little bit better, a little bit easier. We get 1% better. You got to make sure that you're doing everything you can to keep the opportunity from getting away from you to be able to have some money and be able to make the bills. Like, how many months is the runway? How many months can you go without things getting out of hand and getting out of control? And that's where you got to be really, really clear on your intent to be able to put some of that money aside, right? I always say with like restaurants, like, it's like, oh, it's a time to remodel. And it's like, well, yeah, it was time to remodel 5 years ago, but you didn't have the money then, and you didn't put the money away 5 years ago, and now it's 10 years later since the remodel, and that becomes a problem, right? Because now you're like, oh, I gotta have all this money all at once, or like taxes, right? Where you should have a separate account, put the money away into a tax account so that you have the money to pay the taxes when it comes time due. So you're not always constantly falling behind and feeling like you don't have the money to be able to pay it. So that not getting behind will keep you one step ahead of the game and help you not feel the weight and the pressure of the situation that can really become a bad situation quickly for you and your business as things, the snowball turns into a snow boulder and rolls right over you and crushes you and keeps you in a depressed state and in a not thinking clearly state, and thinking more about what am I doing right now rather than like, okay, what are we doing for right now? But what's how does right now play into the bigger picture of where we're at and where we're heading with the business? And that is where you really, why you need to put that money away so that you don't fall into that trap. Now, again, not everybody has that opportunity to do so, but that is why you got to start today. and even in your personal finances, you absolutely should be looking to put as much money away as you possibly can for that rainy day, so that when, business doesn't go right, things, don't go your way, you don't get lucky 3 times in a row, 2 times in a row, 3 times in a row. Have that learning moment, or as people call it, a failure. You can afford for that to happen. So I appreciate you watching today. Thank you, Mohammed, for joining us today here on the EntrepreNEWS. I am Super Joe Pardo. If you have a question, please leave it in the comments below or email me at joe@superjoepardo.com. I will see you in the next video, one of these two right here. And I hope you have an amazing day.